Hey tubies, we're on the bench, and as you can see, the iBooster is on the bench now. I went ahead and I got the plugs and made up the connections. To my wisdom though, I thought the wires would come out the back of these, so I just sort of measured them roughly, like to come straight out and onto the plug, but I didn't realise they come out they do like a swan neck out of the end. And unfortunately, although it does reach, I think these wires are a little bit short, but they do work, so that's fine. They're a bit too short for my likings. I would like to have tidied them up a bit better coming into the plug, which probably still doable. Anyway, so the plug's made up. You've got a thick cable for the main supply. So the plug's made up now. And what I'll do, I'll go ahead and connect the switch supply, and we can see it in operation. This bit of an anticlimactic thing really, but I've tested it and I've left it plugged in, and I don't see no pulsing effects on this particular model, which is good. Although I did read in the forum and somebody else was doing one, and they said they felt the pulsing when they braked hard. They felt the pedal pulsing. Anyway, let's hook it up. I've got a battery down here. There was an initial click there. I don't know if you heard that when I gave it the power. So let me set you up in the stand and I can show you the operation of it. So it's powered up now, and that's pretty much it really. I mean, so there was, you couldn't really depress this before, but if I show you, so as you press the pedal, obviously, so as you depress the pedal, it's quite easy to press. And as you release the pressure, it backs off. Don't know if you can see that there. I'm getting the pulsing effect there. So it looks like on full depression there's a pulsing effect there, which that's what I heard somebody say. But then hopefully once it's set up, it won't need to do the full travel of the piston. Doesn't seem to affect it. It's only at the far end you're completely depressed, I've noticed. You can see. So when you fully depress it, it seems to be getting the pulsating effect. I've heard people say that they get that effect when it's just sitting in idle, but it doesn't seem to be doing that on idle. It's just sitting there doing nothing. It's only when you seem to be fully depressing it up to the stop, it doesn't seem to like that. In the small travel areas, it doesn't seem to. It's only right at the stop end. But then it's not set up with fluid in the car and stuff, so I don't know if it needs to feel the tension or the pressure within the fluid. I don't know if it picks up or it's just, I don't know. So anyway, so that is an issue, but then I think everyone's got that issue if you want to go down this route, to be honest. So but I'm gonna I think I'm going to probably carry on with this, to be honest. So I also, in my wisdom, bought another iBooster. Let's hook up the second one and see what. In my wisdom, and I don't know why I did it actually, I was reading on a forum somewhere about the Golf GTE, the electric one obviously. I think the reason I got this, because I thought it was a smaller unit, more compact. Somebody said in one of the forums that it's got a smaller bore dissipation for the hydraulic lines. So these are the Tesla ones, and we'll need adapters for these if I go down this route, I think. But then I think this is the same, so I'm not quite sure. I think ultimately you've got the motor section there, which pushes on a piston like it would have been a conventional. This originally probably would have been on the back of your brake pedal, which would have just pushed the piston into the reservoir to push the fluid out to the brake lines. So once again, this is a two-hole setup, two-pipe setup. This is the Golf version, Golf Mark 5, I think, version 5, model series 5. They look pretty much identical, and when I looked on the forum, they did say, yeah, it's just an iBooster again. The thing with this one is it's obviously designed to go in on an angle. If you see, look at the tank, it's at a bit of it's off from the 90 degrees to the body. Probably isn't a bad thing for me really, because if I mounted this one in the car, you can imagine let's put that down so I've got both hands, where the steering column comes down here like this, down in the front of the car, this would actually help me if I twisted this, if it's got angled slightly, because it will give me more room then on that side. So that wouldn't be a bad thing, and then it twists the body away from the inverter as well. So this could be an option as well. So fundamentally, these are both identical units. I assume the bodies are both the same. So I've already taken the plate off this one. I'll show you in a minute. And it looks like this one does the same. These are the fixing screws that go in there. And there are different adapter plates, it looks like, that you get depending on the car. I'll get the Tesla one out in a minute. We can have a look. So they're pretty much the same unit really then, other than the reservoirs by the looks of things. The outputs at the end. And they both come out on the same sides as well, which is good, which I want them on that side. This one's probably a better option for me actually, because I could twist it on the frame, mount it on the frame to keep the bottom edge away from the steering column. Let me just put the camera down and plug this one in, and we'll set it up and see if it does the same thing. So we've got the VW one now set up, hooked up on a battery, plugged in and live now. First thing I noticed now was the Tesla unit wasn't making no noise when it was just powered up and left sitting idle. I don't know if you can hear with this one, probably every 15 seconds you're hearing a ticking sound. It's not affecting the piston in any way though. So once again, this is working. So you push it in, it's freer, then obviously no power to it. As soon as you release the tension, the motor pushes the arm back. Let me set you back in the holder and we'll do the full stop test and we'll see what's going on with the pulsation effect. So as with the Tesla unit, as you apply pressure, it's easier. And as you release the tension, the motor pushes the. So once again with this one, when you hit the full back stop, it's pulsing again. So I don't know if you saw with the Tesla one, it pulsed for probably did like, I don't know, 10 vibrations maybe, and then it stopped as you found the trigger point. You can feel it as you press it in when it starts vibrating. This one, it did it once, and I can hear it internally in the motor still pulsing, but you're not feeling it on the rod, she says. So as you press it in, you can feel where it starts vibrating. And this one just clicks, this one just pulses once. And that's probably a better option than it pulsing for half a second on your foot, whatever it is. It was, I know it seems a long time, but it probably isn't. It probably did 5 or 10 quick pulses. So I'm happy with this one. I like this. Yeah, it pulses once and then it stops with the vibration, so quite like that one. That was quite expensive, the Tesla unit one. I bought this because I thought it was a smaller unit. It was more compact. I didn't realise it's exactly the same iBooster Gen 1. But ultimately, the VW one was half the price of the Tesla one. This was, I think, I paid $150 for it complete. With the, as you see, with the body, and you've got the fixing plate here, which I said you can remove this if you want to, and you could just go ahead and fix it straight to the original plate fixings there. Let me show you the plate that came off there, and I'll show you what I'm thinking of doing. So this is the adapter plate that came off the Tesla unit. The very thin, like, gasket washer there. Not sure what it's for, maybe. But ultimately, what this will do for me is, I'll show you in a minute what this will use. This will be helpful in a minute, this bit. So I assume then that these will interchange depending on the car, make a manufacturer. Maybe there's different versions of this template. If you go without the mounting bracket, you have to consider that there's a bit of a lip here on this one. I think it's where it's been machined out. It's like a circular motion there. So I can still hear the VW one ticking, which is okay. I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm happy with this one, and I can mount it slightly twisted, which will be good, which will give me more space on this side as well. My next step is now, I'm going to go with this. Obviously, I've decided. I'm sure these front bits come off. I think this bit unscrews. Yeah, you can probably you can adjust these. And I could put this one on maybe, or even something different if I can find it. Yeah, even the arms look the same. So it's obviously, one's got a ball on it, one's got the fork end on it. So with my original plan in the car, I'm going to probably get some angle iron and space it off the front bulkhead here, the firewall, which will be here. If you're an imaginary window, a doorway into outer space. Anyway, so what I'll do is I've got some 2mm steel plate. What I'll do, I'll use that as a template, and I'll create a bigger plate, big square plate, until I get the frame set up, and then I can cut it down to suit. I'll use as a template, then I'll create a template, and that will give me a fixing plate for the unit. So probably I'll just go with the circular motion. And then maybe I'll take this one off and transfer. I'm probably better off taking this off and transferring the information off this. But I think I'm going to go with this version setup, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the plate up. You don't need to see that. It's just me hacking away at a piece of plate steel. And we'll come back once I've got the plate here on the bench, and then we can see what I'll do. I'll hang that back in the car again, and then we can start getting measurements for the arms, what we need. So what I'm thinking of is once we've got the plate, we'll have like a frame that comes off to the arms, and we'll have a square plate. The arms will be on like a cage. Then I'll probably bolt it in through the riv nut, or bolt it onto the firewall. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. I almost forgot to mention, don't forget your tea with the Christmas cup.